Hey everyone, it's your girl Lady Vintage Bags, and welcome back to Collectionmas, where every day between now and Christmas Eve, I'll be posting a small subset of my handbag collection. And I want to give a shout out to Meredith from Living Lux with Meredith for pioneering this trend. Now, you guys know I'm not big on Christmas decorations, but I've got my Christmas Yoshi here from Mario, which I thrifted for $2 at Salvo's, and he has his Christmas bauble. So today's collection is going to be my top 5 crossbody bags. Now we have a whole mix of brands here. So starting off with the brand that I love the most, Vintage Louis Vuitton. You guys know I'm a Vintage Louis Vuitton fiend. So this is my Vintage Louis Vuitton St. Cloud PM bag. This is a bag that I got in 2023 from a Japanese seller called Brand JFA, and I got this for about 300-ish, 350-ish Australian dollars. Now this bag is so old, it's pre-date code. So this is earlier than early 1980s. So it does have vachetta on there, so it can get water spots, and mine has a lot of dryness and is turned a honey color already. So if you open her up, it's one leather-lined bag with a main compartment, a slip compartment, and a back pocket. But bear in mind, mine vintage Louis Vuitton bags of this era can be lined in a vinyl called Vitonite, which can melt and degrade and needs to be cleaned out. Mine needs to be cleaned out, and I haven't done it yet. But if you want to know the method that I use to clean it out, I'll leave my tutorial here. One thing I really love about the St. Clouds is they have a really flat bottom, so they can stand up on their own. They don't topple over, which I love. It's one of those little weird things, my idiosyncrasies. Let me know if you're the same and you also love flat bottomed or bags that can stand up on their own. So this is a 16 centimeters across, so it's not going to fit everyone's frames. And it has a crossbody strap. Now this bag, this style of bag I love so much. I actually own 3 different ones. I own 2 in the bigger and this one in the smaller one. But this is a really good throw around, quick grab and go crossbody bag. Now all the bags I'm showing you today already have their own dedicated review videos, which I'll link down below. This is my vintage Gucci Ophidia style camera bag, and this is from the 90s. So you can see it has the GG Supreme canvas, which is scratch resistant. It has the mixed metal gold hardware, red and green striped webbing. It has a front pocket and a main pocket. I have a bag organizer in there at the moment. And it has a GG medallion zipper head there. One thing to know about vintage Gucci bags is the interiors are notorious for degrading, like mine is, and they will become powdery, start leaving residue on your things, which is why I'm using a bag organizer. And eventually I will have to scrub it out. They can be scrubbed out. Just couldn't be bothered. So I got this from an Australian seller when we had the Carousel app here in Australia. It doesn't seem to exist anymore. And I got it for about 190 Australian dollars back in 2019 from an Australian seller. One con about Gucci bags I want to mention is, so I already talked about the interior degrading. So that's number 1 about vintage Gucci bags. Number 2 is just about all Gucci bags, modern and vintage, is they often do not come with a strap keeper, which is this little extra bit to hold your strap down so it doesn't flap about, because without it, it does flap about and it doesn't look very nice. I had to DIY this myself. I made it myself. And I know it doesn't match the color of my strap, but this was just a little bit of a watch strap keeper that I had left over. So I'm just going to use what I have. And now it sits flush, which is much better for me. The third con is you'll see that the ring here, the part where it's sewn on horizontally is about halfway down the bag. What that means is sometimes the bag is attached, the strap is attached a bit low down the bag. And while you're wearing the bag has a tendency to flip upside down when you're wearing it, which can be very annoying. And if your bag is not zipped up, your things can fall down. So be aware of these 3 cons about Gucci bags. Otherwise, this is a very easy to use, throw around crossbody bag. No fuss, no muss, scratch resistant, water resistant, so easy to use. And I got it for such a good price. This is my original size Coach Cassie bag, which has now been discontinued, unfortunately, in this sort of dark navy or midnight blue color with the brush gold hardware. This was my Coach alternative to the Louis Vuitton Pochette Matisse, but since it's been discontinued, another brand has come out with their own version. Dress Up Your Purse have the Paris 15, which everyone's been buying a ton of, but because I own the Coach Cassie, there's kind of like, I have no desire to buy the Dress Up Your Purse version, but I know that's been going gangbusters on YouTube, on the luxury community. Everyone's collecting like all their different colors. But for me, I'm already happy with my Coach Cassie bag, and I'm happy with the quality of the leather and the hardware on the Coach Cassie. The interior is a bit cheap. It has a Coach branded interior, but it's fabric. It's not microfiber. It's not suede. It's just material. So the interior is pretty much configured the same as the Pochette Matisse. If you're anything like me and like to go out with drinks, it does fit 2 cans in there, just so you're aware. It does also fit a bottle of water, so you're aware. So I bought this, I think in 2019 or 2020 from a shop called Joma Shop, and this was about 400 Australian dollars, which is more than what the Americans were paying for the Coach Cassies. A lot of Americans were paying like under 200 US dollars when they could get the Coach Cassie original on sale. They're buying it from Dillard's or Nordstrom or whatever on sale. So us Australians have to pay more for Coach. It's not even just the conversion rate. It's like the conversion rate and then some. This is my vintage Hermes Sac Sandrine bag. This was named after Sandrine Dumas, the French actress, who is also the daughter of Jean-Louis Dumas, who was the 5th generation family member to run Hermes, the same Jean-Louis who created the Birkin bag with Jane Birkin. So this was named after his daughter. This is the original version that came out in the 1970s. There is a re-edition that came out in the 80s, but this is the old school original one. What I love the most about this one is it has the beautiful Hermes box leather. Come on, who doesn't love that? Has this unique stirrup closure, which you just open like this and then up. It is lined in the most delicious feeling and delicious smelling leather interior I've ever felt or smelt. One main compartment, one front compartment, and the main compartment has a slip pocket at the front and a zippered pocket at the back. This is actually embossed with the old owner's initials, and you can see Hermes there. This was bought from a French reseller on eBay for 1,300 euros, or about 2,000 Australian dollars. I think I bought it in 2020. And what I love the most about this is I can play around with the strap length. So this is detachable on one side, so I can wear it short when it's doubled up like this, or I can unclip it and let it go. Wear it like this as a long shoulder bag. This is a little bit too short for my liking for crossbody. So I've added a strap extender to give myself a better crossbody length. So now it gives me 3 different strap lengths to play with. And so that's why I chose this bag as my very first Hermes bag. This is my 2024, one of my birthday bags from my birthday haul. This is a vintage Bally, Switzerland, so B-A-L-L-Y. It is not Hermes, so don't get it twisted. This is reminiscent of the Hermes Kelly Mini, the #1 version with the vintage top handle. But this is a little bit bigger. The Hermes one is 20 centimeters. This one is 22 centimeters. So it gives me a little bit more room to play with, but still giving me that really vintage vibe feel. Now this did not come with the original crossbody strap, but it does have these rings to add crossbody straps. So I've just put my own crossbody strap on there. So it's got the sangles and the turret similar to the Hermes. It does have the brand name Bally engraved into the hardware here. When you open her up, it is leather lined, one main compartment, one slip compartment, and one zippered compartment. So this was purchased from a Japanese reseller in 2024 for about 300 US dollars. That's about 500 Australian dollars. And this was what kicked off my vintage Bally of Switzerland collection, because once I got this bag and I was really happy with it, it's box leather, I ended up buying 3 more bags and 1 SLG. So I built up a whole vintage Bally collection in just a matter of weeks. So if you want to see that whole collection, I'll leave it here. Oh, it has feet as well. So if you want to dip your toes into like a Kelly style bag, remember Hermes is not the only company that made the Kelly style. They just got the most famous. There are other brands you can explore that are still made from leather, such as Bally, that you can get for a much lower price point. This is my vintage Chanel Series 2. I don't even know what leather. The seller thought it might have been goat leather. This is a crossbody bag with the double strap, which is very unique, but also typical for its time period, Series 2, so late 80s, early 90s. And what makes this bag so convenient to use crossbody is #1, it has literally the perfect strap length for me. #2, it has a ton of compartments. So this is a front magnetic compartment, but I don't really use it because the leather around the magnet has started to degrade. One secret compartment here. One main compartment here. I'm just going to take out my bag organizer. This was a bag organizer gifted by Zumoni. It opens up to the typical burgundy interior. It has a CC medallion zipper head here, which I love that detail. It's a Chanel made in France. It has in this main compartment 1 zip pocket, 1 zippered pocket, and then I have a back pocket. So I'm highly compartmentalized, and this main compartment is done up by a zipper. So it's really easy to just stuff your things in there and be on the go. Unfortunately, this bag did make it into my 5 worst pre-love purchasing stories because it has a bad story to go with it. The seller was not honest about the condition of the bag, so I'll leave that story here for you to look at. Now, if you guys want to see my top 5 crossbody bags, specifically just from the vintage Louis Vuitton brand, I also have that video, which I'll leave here. And if you haven't seen my earlier Collectionmas videos, I'm going to leave them here. See you in the next one.